live because I've been having negotiations with Don Pepas here with the birthday boy. He doesn't want to show up. He is staying on the window out there behind the couch. So, and no one would be able to see Don Pepas. And I am not the center of attention today. The center of attention is our birthday boy. And what a special birthday this is. It's 15 years. It's 15 cats years. Wow, it's unbelievable. Okay, so we are here and we are talking to ourselves. And Don Pepas, let's continue talking and see what is happening here. My mom couldn't afford compound. And if anyone is going to join us, if any, okay, I am a standard moderator for this channel. Wonderful. So if someone is here, that would be good because so far I am the only visitor of our stream, and no wonder because it is early and it's 2 minutes early, you see, and our birthday boy disappeared. Pipusa, Pipusa, you see, I am not the center of attention. People coming to see you today. Come here, Пипулечка. Пипусечка, come here, Пипуся. Иди сюда. Иди скорее. Иди, Пепочка, Пепочка. Well, I'm trying to communicate with Don Pepas, and unfortunately, I'm not successful. And those cats, you know that the cats, they will never come when you calling them. They always do everything the way they want it, and we have to be with them. So we're still not having anyone. Pepas, no one is coming to your party. Wow, how interesting. Well, it's 3 p.m. and now 3 p.m. here in California and 6 p.m. it's on the East Coast, and we hope that someone is here. Gina is here. Hello, happy Saturday and happy Don Pepas's 15th birthday. And you know, hello Jennifer, hello, and the birthday boy. And the birthday boy, I'm trying to have a negotiation with him, and he is just hiding behind the couch back over there, sitting. There he is. There he, Пепа. Пусть. Эй, Папуся, Пеп. Эй. See, that's Don Pepas. That's the birthday girl. Boy, he is a boy. Oh boy, what a boy he is. And that's why I started the stream a little bit earlier, and I was trying to negotiate with him, saying that Don Pepas, where are you? And he is just saying, I'm going to be there because it's sunny and it's wonderful. We have very comfortable 70 degrees today in California. So he is in the sun, sitting there and enjoying it. So let's hope that eventually he'll join the party. And yes, thank you so much. Many more years. And yeah, I can't believe it. It's 15 years of age, 15 years young. And I have to admit to all of you here that it's my first 15-year celebration for a cat. I've never had, well, I didn't have that many cats in my life, but no one made it quite this far. And that's why I am so proud of Don Pepas that he is here. And hi, Jennifer, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us. I know that you also have your calendar filled with other wonderful events, and it's very, very cool that you're able to join us. Okay, so I'm not comfortable on the couch. Let's go somewhere else where I'm going to be much better. And let's hope that Don Pepas is going to join us eventually. Okay, here one more time. Pepatska. Пипуся. Peppa, okay, you saw that birthday boy is there. He is real. he he is here, and we all know how cats are. We all know how cats are, and we are serving them. We are just living at their mercy, and that's what it is. Elaine, hey, hello. Oh, my boy is 14, Elaine says. Hope he has many years left. I also hope that Don Pepas has so many years left, and is going to be healthy and a happy life. And it's an amazing thing that our feline companions now live long lives. And as the first time when I heard that saying, when I went to a doctor and I asked, what is the expectation of the cat, the average expectation of the cat's life? And the doctor told me, well, you know, the cats with the care right now, what we have, the modern the medical care, veterinary care, the cats live into late teens. And I was like, wow, into late teens. Well, 15 is not a late teen yet, but I hope that Don Pepas is going to do well. And yeah, I hope that he's going to be for a long, long time with us. So since he's 15, and I was thinking that it would be a good time to remember where Don Pepas coming from and where did he come from. I also got so many questions. I mean, so many times I've been asked, like, what is this? It's interesting name, Don Pepas. Where did it come from? So today is the day I'm going to repeat this story that I have actually a video dedicated on this channel to Don Pepas's story. I think it was when he was 10, 11, 12. But still, I know how the channels are. The channels are burying the videos, and unless you really look for something specific, you will never run into that video. And Jennifer saying that I knew a couple of cats that lived to at least 20 years old. I heard about that. I also heard about that the cats keep living longer and longer, and 20 years is not a surprise anymore. And yeah, so 5 more years. Well, I think that someone I was I was I ran into a channel where people were not bragging about the longevity of their cats, but someone said that he had a cat right now at the moment that the cat was 29 years old. Well, I don't know. You see now, I mean, okay, let's say late teens, probably it's average life expectancy. 20s, they are people that very long long life people, the senior, and then 20, after 20, 25, 20 or 21, 22, 23, they're going to be record holders, I believe. So I don't know. It's so weird that this the YouTube during in the chat, in live chat, you started showing something like crown number one, number three, number two. Is they do they count the time giving you the numbers by appearance, like when you join the stream, and that's what they're assigning you the number. So anyway, it's weird. We are having 5 people so far, and probably I should begin because I don't know who else is going to join. The channel actually plateaued and it's sitting at 3,500 subscribers, and probably, well, because it feels that I post only shorts and very seldom long ones, the channel really being inactive. And that's why no one is going to join our stream. And that's why the story probably should begin. Don Pepas is 15 and his official birthday is August 4th. Again, people are asking me, how come, how do you know that his date is August 1st, the birthday? And of course I don't. The date became kind of came to my mind that it would be very appropriate for him to have that birthday, because it would be easier for me to remember, because it's my half birthday. My birthday is February 4th, and he is going to be August 4th, because I met him in September, in mid September of 2010, when I was traveling to Costa Rica. I stayed in a hotel in province of Guanacaste, and I was walking through the village, and I saw that the boys were harming this little kitten, and I saved him, because and he was all by himself, no mama cat, not nothing, no one was around, and he's had displaced back leg. He was malnourished. He was filled with fleas, and I took him to the local vet, and the veterinarian, looking at him, well, first of all, when she opened the bag that I was carrying him in, she was telling him, like, pobrecito, que pepas tienes. And I said, well, what the pepas are? She says, it's his eyes are so sick, and they're so watery and filled with all kind of dirt, that what that comes to mind, that pepas is the sick eyes. And that's why she said, what peppers do you have? And the the local person who was with me there, a worker from the hotel, he was saying, oh, so let call him Peppers. First I was thinking, like, maybe he's calling him Pepe or something. He said, no, Pepe is kind of Pepe, but Pepas, it's going to be unique. And the doctor was saying, well, Pepas is the sick name. Like, do you want to stay with that sick name? And back then I wasn't thinking, like, you can call him whatever you want, because I just see this kitten, and then I'll be flying to the United States again, home, and I will never see this cat ever again. So anyway, so Pepas, we based him. The doctor actually nourished him, and the flea. So they got the deworming, and all the fleas were dealt with. And it was mid September. It was not mid, maybe it was the beginning of the second week of September of 2010. And she said, looking at him, though he is malnourished, but maybe he was born in the beginning of August. He is like 4 weeks, maybe a little bit more than 4 weeks, but definitely not 5. And that's what I figured out, that it would be, if it's for his birthday, that probably it's going to be a good date to have it on August 4th. So I would always remember. But back then I wasn't thinking that I would always remember, because again, I wasn't going to bring him home with me. The long story short, he was discharged from the hospital. I was still staying in the hotel, and the hotel wasn't like a big hotel, because it was not in the big city. It was on the road between two cities, like in the middle of nowhere, and it has a different cabanas style, the hotel. And when we brought him with the manager of the hotel from the veterinarian, he was placed in the kitchen block, because there was another cat, the grown female cat, and she was like, okay, I may adopt you, I may hiss at you. No one was ready to greet this little kitten, but he was begging for attention, chasing other cats in the neighborhood, saying, play with me, oh, I'm good, I'm good. And I was like, no, I am not really bonding with you. I am not going to pick you up and kiss you. I'm not going to pet you. I mean, we've saved you. I brought you here to the kitchen. They're going to feed you. You're going to have food, maybe some type of shelter. That's for me. I fulfilled my obligation. I saved the animal. And then I picked him up. And he, being Don Pepas, he just climbed over here on my neck, and he was like, okay, I'm here. I'm here. I said, okay, you are there. And then I asked the manager if I could bring this little kitten into my room. He said, yeah, of course you can. You can. And the first night when Don Pepas slept in with me, that was the most interesting experience. Of course, he was a wild kitten. He was what? Just little kitten. And but the morning when we woke up together in one bed, he was laying on my neck and he was trying to put his little mouth right onto my cheek and he was purring. And you know what? That did its trick because before that, I had pure breed, Miss Marilyn Himalayan. She lived to be 12, but I never ever had the privilege of her kisses, of her affection, of anything. She was like, she was a royalty and she graciously allowed me to be at her service. And the affection like that from a cat, where in the middle of the jungle somewhere there, and I'm like, okay, that's how you are, little boy. It got me thinking. So I went to the reception saying, hey, have you heard, I mean, have you heard that if anyone was adopting a pet in Costa Rica and then taking them to the United States or abroad to fly with them? They, oh, sure. I mean, we can find out for you. And they placed few calls to the veterinarian, and the vet says, well, if you really want to take him with you, then you need those type of papers. I can just ship those papers overnight to be signed in the capital of Costa Rica, in San Jose, and those papers will be back. And when is your flight? I said, well, my flight is in 3 days. And she says, okay, but before he would fly, he would need these two vaccinations, and they have to be about 10 days apart. And I said, well, I don't have 10 days. We need to fly in 3 days. And she says, you know what? Let's inject those both vaccines at once. If he lives, he lives. If he doesn't, well, that's his story. Okay, and we had that vaccinations, and Don Pepas survived. So he still wasn't Don yet. He was just Pepas, and I couldn't remember that name. Like, what can I cannot put together because it was the new word Pepas for me, and Pepe, no Pepe, and Pepas, and I was told he's Pepas, he's not Pepe. Okay, so and but when I was traveling there and whenever I was going to a restaurant or to the hotel, the staff was addressing me Doña Liliana, Doña Lilian, Doña. And, and I was like, no, I'm not a Doña. I'm just normal Lilian without any honorific title. Please don't do that. I am not a master. I'm not whatever. I'm just Lilian, just like, but in Hispanic culture, Doña, Don is honorific title before the name. And I always knew that because I read lots of literature and they were always referring to someone with respect, Don Pedro, Don, Don Corleone. So anyway, um, and I always was thinking about it, that I knew that cultural significance of that thing. So anyway, so Don Pepas is having his vaccination. He has his paperwork, everything good. And I'm thinking, okay, probably I will end up taking him with me. I'm calling the airline saying, are you flying cats? They said, sure, we fly. It was before the merger of American and Continental. I was probably flying, I don't remember, Continental, some of the airline that didn't fly pets in cabin back then. And so they said, but you will need to provide hard carrier because he will be flying in cargo department. And that is another thing. Like, no, I probably shouldn't subject the cat such horrible things because probably I don't know whether he's going to survive or not. I mean, I will be worrying about him flying in the cargo department. And so in the evenings, we are sitting and talking to the manager. I said, listen, I understand that I already went to all the trouble. I paid for the paperwork. I paid for vaccinations. I did that, and that. But I really cannot even think about him flying in the cargo department. So probably I'm not going to take him with me. And he said, listen, he is not in the city. He is here in the middle of nowhere. He is running between the cabanas. And it's definitely, his life is not going to be long because, first of all, he's white. And the eagle or any other bird of prey going to see him from above and then dive and get him. Or the snake, definitely they would come and just swallow that cat. And he was like, it's eagle or culebra or so, like, no, well, he said águila or culebra, águila or culebra. And I was like, okay, eagle or snake, eagle or snake. And with thinking of those two words, I was just walking around. Wow, that little kitten is going to end up in the claws of the bird of prey or in the tummy of the snake. And that was a decisive moment. I said, okay, so I'm going to call him Don Pepas. So we're going to leave that ugly name of Pepas. At least I'm going to beautify the name with the honorific Don. That's how the name came, Don Pepas. And we are flying. So I'm calling the airline and they're saying, okay, so you have to have hard carrier, and he's going to be in the cargo department. So anyway, the day comes when I have to fly to the United States. And since I'm flying to Monterey, California, I had a number of stops. So I had to fly from Guanacaste, it's Liberia, Guanacaste. It's not San Jose, Liberia, Guanacaste. Then we go into Dallas, Texas, and then to San Francisco, and then to Monterey. And all those stops. And in Dallas, Texas, everything that was in cargo, they had to wait for the connection flight in on the tarmac. And for the livestock or live creatures, the temperature was supposed to be below 91.5. So I'm checking in to the flight, and the temperature in Dallas that day was 95 degrees. And they said, no, we cannot admit the cat in the carrier with you. I said, what to do? They said, well, just you fly, the cat doesn't. And thank God, I don't know what I felt, but I asked the manager of the hotel to be with me to accompany us with Don Pepas. If something going wrong, that if something would go wrong, he would take the cat back with him. So anyway, I'm saying, okay, I'm leaving cat right now with you. Check him in the hotel and let him wait for me for a week. So I'll find out which airline would fly the cat in cabin, and then I'll fly back for one night. I'll pick him up. And that's what happened. So I stayed for a week in California, went to work. Then the weekend came, Friday night, I was boarding the plane. I think Continental agreed to fly him in cabin. And I flew all the way to Costa Rica. I picked up the cat. He was brought to me to the airport. I stayed overnight at the airport. The entire crew knew that I was, because the crew was also staying overnight of that hotel, and they were flying the plane back. And but there was one caveat, because I had only that carrier, and it's hard shell carrier, and I am boarding the plane. The crew knows that I am flying just to rescue a cat, a little kitten, and I am boarding the plane on the steps. So it wasn't the sleeve. It's just from the tarmac. You're climbing the steps up to the plane, and I'm carrying Don Pepas over here with me, and the flight attendant, the guy, is saying, "Oh my God, you have the wrong type of carrier." I said, "What do you mean wrong type carrier?" He said, "Well, you have to have a soft carrier so it could go slide in under the seat in front of you." And I'm like, "What to do?" And he said, "Well, I'm going to take you out of the country, out of Costa Rica, but in Dallas you're going to have problem." And of course, I had problem in Dallas. And we landed, and I was trying to talk the sense to the airline workers, but they say no. We have these rules, and no, you cannot take him. Where are you going to? He's not going to travel in front of you. The container doesn't go under the seat. Even the lady who was checking in into the first class, she was saying, hey, let me see, and let me try, maybe this carrier will go under the seat in the first class. Well, it didn't go. I didn't know what to do. You were not allowed into the plane. The plane is about to depart. I am crying. Don Pepas doesn't understand what's going on. And besides, he's a little kitten. I know that he doesn't. The cats, they're finicky travelers. They don't drink, they don't pee, they don't poop, they don't whatever. Yeah, and you cannot do anything. They have some rooms in the airport for the dogs, like the artificial grass, and the room you can go in there, and the dog does its things or whatever they need to do. But the cats, they don't do that. So Don Pepas, I don't know how he is holding up, because it's been already quite some time traveling. So anyway, I don't know what to do. They said, okay, we're going to check you in into the flight tomorrow. You go, you spend the night in the hotel till your flight tomorrow. You'll buy a special carrier, and that's how we're going to solve the problem. Well, I don't know what to do, and all of a sudden, I hear the conversation that the two ladies that they at the gate they're talking, and she said, "I'm closing the door." She said, "No, wait a minute." She said, "No, I'm closing the door." She said, "No, wait a minute." What wait? She said, wait, wait. So, and all of a sudden, I see someone is running very fast, carrying this brand new carrier, the Capron carrier, that the soft carrier. They sell it to me at the gate at for $50. At that time, I was probably ready to pay whatever they're going to say. I am transferring Don Pepas from one carrier to another one, and I said, I'm going to leave this behind, the hard one, and you just discard it. They said, no, 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 we put it in the luggage area. You'll get it in San Francisco, because I was flying to San Francisco, not to Monterey. And so back then I really was thinking, like, wow, it's the cat lovers united, really. That's the people who love cats, they made everything possible that we, Don Pepas and I, would fly that flight and taking it home. But we were the last passenger to board that plane. Everyone was already seated. And when we entered the airplane, everyone was clapping, applauding, saying, wow, they made it. It's so nice that you are flying home with us. So Don Pepas became an instant celebrity. That's how his life started. And we arrived to San Francisco, and we were going for the terminal, riding the bus to my car, to the garage. And he finally relieved himself, because he felt like everything is behind, and now we're going to be in our car, and he can relax. That was the story of our travel. And Don Pepas came to San Francisco, and of course he went through the customs and everything. Whenever somebody is saying, oh, you snake the cat through the border, no, Don Pepas is legal. He is legal alien. He went through all the procedures, two borders, he crossed it legally, and it took some time, of course, and he made it. He made it, and he became a Californian. And first 6 months, he couldn't understand why he is not allowed to go outside. Like, mommy, oh, your mommy? You no, no, my mommy is a Costa Rican cat. Who are you? And he was really treating me. Who are you? You think you got me? No, I'm going to ruin everything. What? No, I am a cat, and who are you? What are you? And he was fearless. He was a distractor. He was a terrorist. He couldn't sleep at night. Well, it comes around, and he doesn't sleep well at night now. He keeps me awake. So yeah, we had tumultuous 6 months when I was trying to instill some sense into him, saying, Don Pepas, you're now living in a normal household. here it is. He said, no, I'm going to ruin your plans that you had for me, before me. I'm going. So, you know what the first victim of Don Pepas' arrival was? I had the resistance ball, very nice, that I was doing my exercises, and he got scared of something. I don't know. And he was baking, and his back legs jumped toward the ball. So it wasn't the front paws that picked, I mean, the prickled that ball, but the back ones. And that ball got deflated right away. So it was the first loss. And then the Christmas tree I couldn't have for a couple of years until he was growing up. Then I had a Mexican wool. Uh, it's a poncho. Technically, it's a poncho, but it was the village style poncho, very big one, handmade, and I kept it as the rug in my bedroom, and it had some. What does it mean? So at the end, it has some kind of very wonderful adornation. He ate it all because it's wool, 100% wool, and it just I thought that he was going to be sick, but no, he digested everything, and it just went this normal cycle, and was just. And he said, "Hey, it was delicious. It was. It took him a couple of months to understand that the food is not going to be taken away from him. That's why I keep food available all the time throughout his life, because I told him, saying, let's see that you eat this and you can stop, and then you can stay and wait a little bit, and then you come and the food is going to be here. So 6 months, long 6 months, it was fight. He was training me. And you know what? When I gave up and I said, okay, you won, you're going to do whatever you want, and I'm going to accept this is a status quo in our life, in our house. And and you know what, he understood that, and our life became bearable. Our life became bearable. He was Don Pepas, and everything is good. You know how the little kittens, they're so cute, and you're looking at them and you're saying, please don't grow up, please don't grow up, because you're going to become just an ordinary cat. Granted, you're going to be a beautiful grown cat, but you're no longer going to be a kitten. But for this one, I was, first of all, he wasn't that pretty. He was, his huge ears, he had tiny neck, and I don't know, it just, he was an ugly duckling. And I was telling him, grow, please grow, because first of all, if you grow, you'll start sleeping like a cat, at least, because cats sleep longer than you. You don't, it seems like you don't sleep at all. You play all night long. And then I was coming, I didn't live far from work. I was able to come during lunch break also to feed him, to play with him a little bit. And he was, I don't know, he had lots and lots of energy to play all the time. And I was like, oh my God, when this cat is going to be grown up? So he would start sleeping like all cats, 24 hours. Um, and he grew. He grew, and when he turned 3, he was displaying the behavior of a real cat. Up to 2 years old, he was fearless. And then when he was, I bought this apartment in 2012, this condominium. So he was already 2 years old. We moved here, and he started accumulating the habits of the cautious cat. So, and if he was fearless over there, he just could walk into something. He went to the doctor's office, just being totally fearless. And here he started, okay, that's my home. I'm going to guard it, and no one is going to come here. And you see, we have that huge sliding door. And now, since I've noticed that probably some wild animals, I mean, maybe possum, maybe raccoon, or definitely squirrels, ground squirrels, they came here. Maybe some other cat was coming there and just playing tricks on him. So he started really be cautious, and growing, he was becoming more and more cautious cat. And now he is a cat, and 15 years old. He's now. I think it's one. Okay, Pepachka, Pepachka, Pepachka. There he is. Pipusia, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Everyone is saying happy birthday to you. Pipusia. He's very sleepy cat. So now you know I do have a cat, and he is celebrating with us. And yeah, I even went to the hair salon today earlier this morning, so I would have a real holiday. And I bought fresh salmon. It was flown to us from Alaska, organic. So he's going to have a salmon cake tower. I'm going to build him later today. I also wanted to buy him a new litter box. And I went to the store this morning and I couldn't find any. And but litter box is definitely in the stars for Don Pepas. And that is the story of Don Pepas. Let me see who we have here. We have 10 people joining our stream, and I am going to say Jennifer is here, Elaine is here, Gina, and we have um okay, so I have Fox Tunes. Hello, I have Sherry. Hello, and Domo. And wow, we have such a wonderful, wonderful crowd. Thank you so much for joining. Let me read what you have. The first, yeah, that's I don't know, Jennifer, what this crown is. I have no idea. It's been a while since I had the stream. Today I was watching some other YouTuber and live stream, and I've noticed that people were having crowns, and I haven't got a memo from YouTube what's going on there, and I need to find out what's going on. Пепочка, Пепуся, say hello. Пепа, say hello to us. Пепулечка, meow, meow. It's your birthday party. It's your birthday party. Everyone is there saying hello. Yeah, we're a little bit on the skinny side, but we're cool. We're looking beautiful. We are looking young and beautiful, and everything's good. Yeah, that's your grass. You can have your grass. Skinny, skinny little kitty. Пупуся, пупусечка. Stay with us. Stay here. Stay here, пупуся. Yeah, stay. Stay. And let me read what it has. Yeah, hello, yeah, Elaine saying hello, fellow cat guardians. You know what? After that ordeal traveling back with Don Pepas, I wrote a thankful letter to the airline saying that you know what, you really went above and beyond to make my life better, to care about this cat and do everything possible, because really they help so much, and showed that people do love their cats, people do like animals, and people do have wonderful hearts. And when it comes to helping each other, Pepachka, you're going to eat? Okay, so that's his food, his buffet. He decided, Pepusia, I have chicken over there for you. A chicken also is waiting for him before the towering salmon cake is going to be prepared. Yummy! Oh, yes, yes, Elaine. He had such harsh start of life, and that's why he deserved the best he can. And it's so interesting because that hotel manager who helped me to rescue him, his name is Enrique, and he loves animals. He always had stray dogs, stray cats. He I mean he is from Spain, but he moved to Costa Rica, and Costa Rica turned out to be his place on earth because he loved all creatures. Contrary to me, I can stand snakes and frogs and everything, but he was friend with any creature. And that's why Don Pepas is, if it's not for Enrique, Don Pepas probably would never be with me here. He played a crucial role into this ordeal and his happy ending. And then I think we are in touch via Facebook, But when Don Pepas was 3 years old, I posted pictures, and Enrique commented. He was saying, "Wow, Don Pepas!" I'm sorry, guys, if I just crushed your ears. Don Pepas, you look like Brad Pitt of all the cats because you're so handsome. And back then, we were starting to call Don Pepas Brad Pitt of cats because he was so handsome. So, and what else? Yeah, yeah, big snakes, really big snakes. And I mean, he likes all kind of snakes. He could just play with little things, whatever. And it's his place on earth because and the creatures like him back. So what else do we have here? Cat do make the funniest loud meows. I don't know. It's funny when you're not awake. I mean, when you're awake, but when you're asleep, it's not that funny. Да, Пепочка? Peppa, say something. Okay, what else? Happy birthday, Don Pepas. People saying happy birthday to you. Yes. Okay, he went there. Yeah, thank you, Sherry. That Sherry said that I look beautiful. You see, my hairstylist George, he did a wonderful job. He said, "Well, you like your hair short." I said, "Well, and actually, I wanted to grow it back." He said, "Really? You didn't tell me." So, I never know what's going to happen when I go to see George, but this time it was good call. So it's and I'm getting so gray, and I don't know what do you think, guys? Is it time for me to go gray and not to do every 6 weeks coloring or whatever? I don't know because people, and then I'll be 100 years old right away. Okay, happy birthday. Okay, hotels. Hello, I hear the crowns are for the comments. Okay, not sure why though. Yeah, for the comments. Meow. That was our story about the name. And I'll probably will cut this story out of the stream and I post as the video because people do ask, what is a Don Pepas? And of course, people don't remember, they cannot remember Pepas, like it was hard word for me to remember also because Pepas, what is Pepas? And now, of course, in Russian, English, Spanish, all uh, got together here in this household, and his name is Pepachka, Pipusia, Pipunichka, Pepushka, Pipusia, Pipusia. And now, since he is claiming channel to himself, teaching Russian, that also evolved out of nowhere because it's easier to go and see what Don Pepas does and film him that to stage my new video and do something about that. So yeah, the long format videos don't do good at this video, at this channel at all. Okay, Jennifer is saying the hair looks cute. Thank you so much. Yeah, you Jennifer saying I've been embracing my natural curls. But you see, of course, natural curls is one thing. Gray hair is another thing. So when it goes like beyond 5 weeks, I can put my hair up because my wonderful aging time, I mean, showing that I have gray hair. And I know there is kind of the Hollywood was starting this movement saying that it's back to natural because you don't have to do this dyeing your hair every so often, and people starting showing their own age. I don't know whether I'm ready or not to go all natural and gray. I don't know. I unfortunately I am a product of this society where it's good to be young and healthy, but health failed me a little bit, and so maybe my youthful looks should go away as well, and I should just be what I am, the old lady at 60 years old. Coyote, hello. You see, you join us at these things when I started talking about things that are actually not good. Yes, Don Pepas. Don Pepas, come here because people saying happy birthday to you. And yeah, so I'm telling you that I nominated, I assigned his birthday to August 4th only for the purpose that it's my half birthday, and that's why he's August 1st. Do whatever makes you happy. I know, Jennifer. I don't know what makes me happy because it's interesting. So yeah, I've been going to work, and work actually interesting this time around. The students very it, again, working with the languages, it's very interesting. It's when I was choosing my profession, going to the university to study linguistics and languages, I really didn't even know where it would take me, because I actually studied learned my major was Spanish, and my second language was English, and Russian, of course, my native tongue. And the specialty was, the major was, I mean, it was the University of Foreign Languages and the Department of the Romance Languages. Romance languages, we had French and German, and I didn't want to do that. But the Spanish and English was really very good. And the Spanish language back then, in a Siberian town of Irkutsk, seemed a little bit far-fetched. Like, Spanish in Siberia, where would you work? And our professors were saying to us, only few schools were teaching Spanish as the curriculum, because most of the schools in Russia, language number one was English, language number two was German, language number three was French, and language number four was Spanish. And technically, if you graduate, you're lucky if you get the job of the English teacher in public school. But Spanish, there was so limited number of places to teach Spanish. And our professor used to say that 5 years you guys been studying in-depth Spanish, and it's going to become your hobby. So congratulations on spending so much time on your beautiful, beautiful hobby. And it's not that they were right, but when I graduated, I was working. I was able to establish my own curriculum, and I went to teach the 6-year-olds, and it was the innovation back then in 1989. Yeah, 1989, when in the Soviet Union they had that experiment where a 6-year-old started to learn foreign languages, and one of the kindergartens, they allocated 2 classes for me to do experimental teaching and learning languages. One class was learning Spanish, and another one was learning English. So I wrote my own curriculum for both classes, and I was teaching both languages, and that was very interesting, very, very interesting. And then in '94, I came to this country. I went to the United States. I came to the United States, to California, and that was an eye-opening thing. Like, wow, the second language in California is Spanish. That's why I learned Spanish. That's where my destiny brought me. That's why I was preparing myself all my life for this Spanish language use and understanding and everything. And you see, you never know. Honestly, our lives work in divine ways. I mean, when I was in 1983 standing in front of my university and deciding which department to apply to, I literally was kind of I was just fortune telling, like, here I don't want to learn German, here I don't want to learn this. So okay, Spanish and English would work. English I already studied at school and it was good, but Spanish, I read some Spanish authors. I knew a little bit about Spain, but wow, go figure. And now yeah, coming to California, I realized that Spanish is the language. And then we will, of course, for 5 years we learned Spanish in depth, and it was Castilian Spanish, and then we were taught all those different aspects of Spanish in Latin America. They don't like when you say in the countries of South America, and yes, and we all knew that they were told that if you understand the Cuban, then it means that you speak Spanish. And then they said, oh, if you go to Argentina, that they would claim that is the purest Spanish is there. And of course, in Spain, Castilian Spanish is one thing. And if you go to Mexico, it's totally different Spanish. And it's interesting, right, to think. But then when you think about English, it's the same thing, because English is in the United States. Okay, so now when the United States, when an American goes to Great Britain, they would say, what kind of language they speak, and yet they don't understand. And technically, the American English came from British English. But look what the ocean does when it lies between two languages and between two uh, different directions. And of course, then the farther away from the Great Britain you are, and then Australian English and all those wonderful things, and then Canadian English. And yeah, the world is speaking different time, different um, aspects, different accents, different variations of different language, of the same language. Same thing with Russian. And people who grew up here after the revolution 1917, they came here and they preserved Russian in their families. And when you meet those people, they speak in odd Russian. And even if it's not for the internet and all kind of the media that became available nowadays, Russian would stay dormant with me at the level of 1994 when I came to this country. And but now, since I can watch movies and I stay really current on all those development of the language, that's why I can teach Russian, modern Russian, at the place where I work. And that's why it's the language is very interesting thing. And what does it take to learn the language? It's dedication, dedication, and dedication. And then it would come to the accent. You know, in Russia, they're crazy about speaking with pure British accent. You have to speak British accent or American accent. Oh, your accent is so horrible. So Russia is very famous for accent shaming. And now that accent shaming actually fact is going more, at least in the worldwide, is going away, because the people who speak without accent in Great Britain and the only country that speaks British English, and then the rest of the country they speak with some type of accent. And when you're learning English, it's not the correct way to say I want to have an impeccable accentless English. No, you have to ask, like, what accent of English would you like to acquire? Because if you go a bit, Indian speaks one type of English. European, Eastern European, you can always tell that speaks different type of English. Again, South America, they have different accent, and everyone. But since English is becoming the language, almost like global language, and everyone is speaking it, and people do speak different accents, and other people becoming more and more tolerant hearing accent. Because I remember the days when the moment I started speaking English to someone who is not comfortable with the accent, they really didn't understand, saying like, what are you saying? What are you saying? And you have to spell the word and say, oh, that's the word. So, yeah, I've been saying that word all along. And it used to really bother me. And now, since I'm growing more and more into the linguistics and those aspects of the language knowledge, actually, I am getting more and more tolerant even toward my accent. Though first time in my career at the Defense Language Institute, normally students are so used to the Russian teachers that they are speaking English with the accent and everything, and no one is questioning anything, and no one, God forbid, to make fun of us. But in this class, I had first time when I asked, the student was saying, "Have you ever thought about getting rid of your accent?" And I was like, when you don't expect something, it just dawned on me. I said, yes, I have. And I tried a few times, but there is such a thing with the organism and the vocal organization of our bodies that the flexibility of that organs become a little bit less and less flexible as you mature. If you acquire in foreign language under 12 years old, then most likely you will be speaking without accent, especially if you're growing up learning 2 or 3 languages. That is normal right now in some of the families I know, and their kids, of course, speak without accent on all 3 languages. But when you are grown up, you unfortunately more and more prone to have accent, and that's an interesting story. And that's sometimes when I'm thinking about starting my other channel, because I'm more and more interested about history, and I'm thinking maybe I don't want to repackage this channel because this channel is already, it is what it is. But I was told that maybe it's better to start a new channel and start conversations with Lillian, and it's not tied to any feline lovers or to the language. It's just to talk about stuff that I like and in English. And what is stopping me is saying that I'm going to be speaking English with an accent, and it probably would stop some people to come to my channel and listen to a person who speaks English with an accent. Oh, some people saying that, look, there are so many channels without accents that your channel is going to stand out because of your accent. So all mixture of topics I gave you today to think about. Look at me. That's Don Pepas. That your 15-year-old anniversary brought to my mind, because thinking and remembering all the things that been before. Jennifer is saying, "Oh, Don Pepas is here. He's finally here. Let's move over here, and then I'll." Okay, пипусечку, моя пипусечка. Okay, we'll finish our conversation with the birthday boy in the picture. Пипусенька, пупусечка. Look, it's your birthday. Okay, do whatever makes you happy. Jennifer, you're so kind. Thank you so much for your wonderful words, because very encouraging. Do whatever you like. And that's true. Do whatever you like. And it's just, it's okay, Pipusya, let's be comfortable on the couch again. Okay, so what else do you have? Koshka Heidi or Thomas Eduardovich. Hello, Koshka Heidi says, thank you so much. My new haircut looks good. Thank you so much. I'll tell my hairstylist that everyone liked my haircut. And 60 is still young. Your hair looks great. There is pros and cons to color and hair. Makes everyone look younger in older years, but it's harsh on hair. Yep, I agree. Yes, but it does make you look younger. And remember, guys, our grandmothers, and they looked nothing like we look now. I remember my grandma was born in 1906, and she came to live, and I was born in 1965. So she came to live with us when I was 4. So it was 1969. So 1969 minus 1906, she was 60, what? 4, 3. She was pretty much my age. But to me, she looked ancient. She looked totally different. And I don't know. Our grandmas didn't look like we modern women look. And And maybe because again it's society, because society is so crazy about looks, and everything have to look young and skinny, and okay, I'm starting something that I don't want to go in that way. I'm still not feeling 100% complete where I could start my exercises again. And yeah, it drives me nuts that I am limited in my health capacity. Still there. Okay, Koshka Heidi is saying hello. Sherry is asking, did you have culture shock coming to the United States? Are comfortable with the culture? It wasn't shock. Because first of all, because I wanted to come to the United States so much, and I wanted to learn everything about American culture. I wanted to know all the shows. I wanted to know everything: the radio, the TV, the music, the how people think. What do they do? Because I really wanted to absorb the culture and become one of the people. Just to be proud, proud member of the community. And I already said, well, some differences, because like food and different styles of habits of uh, doing things like weddings, different things that now I'm so used to those things that I don't even remember. I told a few times that it took me a while to learn how to order fried eggs, like sunny side up, scrambled over easy, etc. Because no one teaches those minute things to you. They say, okay, fried eggs, and then when you come to the restaurant, you don't know. It was the choice also. You ask in the salad, and the salad in the Russian mind is the salad olivier that I made on my channel. That is totally different. And they bring the leafy salad, and the leafy salad is not a salad in Russia. It wasn't back then. And then when they bring these three leaves to you, and then they ask, and what type of dressing do you want? And you're like, do I have to, to choose again? And they give the choice of the dressings, and I'm like, oh my god, have no idea. So that's thing that you're faced to. You don't know the products that you're available to people here, and you have to learn those things. Once you learn those things, and then when you're willing to learn, and then how I think everything is going to be. Yeah, cultural shock. No, I think because I was totally ready, and I was willing to do that. I know that many Americans come to Russia, still they have a cultural shock. And I am following one channel. It's Wild America, and he lives in Irkutsk, and he got married to a Russian person, and he's showing a life, and sometimes he gives comments. um, I'm still smiling about those comments, though he positions himself that he already knows Russia. It's been about 3 years he lives there. So anyway, yeah, um, no, not, yeah, I always tell stories to my students when they're learning words and they don't know. And I said, guys, I really cannot recall the things how I was learning those words. How did those words appear in my head? I cannot recall myself sitting down, reading the lists and memorizing them. I really don't remember the moment, but how the words entered my mind. But I remember the everyday use words like leftovers at the restaurant. Now, in Russia, we didn't have such thing as leftovers. But since the word is compound of two words, I knew both words. But how to put them together, I used to say overlaps. The students were all laughing because, and I told that story when someone also gave me a compound word in Russian and changed the places of the both of the roots. And I said, hey, I have a story for you, overlaps. And they were laughing and saying, wow, that's a story. So yes, of course, we do have some stories because mixture of cultures, mixture of everything. It's an interesting. That's what makes us all unique. Thank you. It's wonderful questions. Thank you so much, Sherry. And what else do you have? Как дела, Don Pepas? Don Pepas, как дела? How are you? Thomas Eduardovich is asking, как дела? How are you? Как дела? And so no culture shock, but it's just huge desire to learn everything, so I wouldn't be shocked for the long time. Oh, by the way, if Jay eventually going to watch this show, Jay, you're not going to like what I'm going to say. Actually, it is Don Peppas' birthday, but I gave present to myself. I bought a new car, and it's the same car that I had before, Cadillac XT5, only brand new. So Don Peppas, we have a present, we have a gift, we have a new car. And just think about the golden, yes, I know, I love golden girls, it's so wonderful. Yeah, I, yes, exactly, they were like 56, and now, yep, I know, it's everything, that's how it is. Yep. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Don Pepas and I. And as our 15 years old is my first cat who ever reached this respectable age. And I'm so happy that we together lived every single day of this journey. And I hope that we will have many years to come, at least late teens and maybe beginning of 20s. And well, thank you so much for coming and sharing this day with us. And if you have your, well, you all have your cats, please hug your cats and kiss them. And I hope that you are going to get lots and lots good emotions from our feline friends and canine for that matter as well. So thank you for being with us, and we'll see you very, very soon.